Excuse me, can you stop for a minute? Yeah, it's still white.
How's it going?
Bă, eu am vrut să vin și aseară la tine.
Yeah, it was I just get this.
Thinking about Sunday.
I'll go out and have some fresh air.
Hello.
go out and have some fresh air.
Excuse me?
Yeah, yeah.
Am fost liber, nu mai stă postă ca înainte. Acum făceam și...
Looks nice.
I can say awesome.
Yeah.
Good for listening. Yes,